The Wolves volleyball team faced off against Lincoln Memorial University last Friday. Our cameras were there. And Newberry wrestling coach and Hall of Famer Deral Brown visits us in the studio. And last Friday was Halloween. We'll have the story about a spooky trunk or treat. All this and more coming up on Wolves Weekly. From the Langford Center Studios at Newberry College, I'm Tucker Moore.
And I'm Phillip Wade. Welcome back to Wolves Weekly. The Newberry College volleyball team was looking to even out their overall record this past week. Our Wolves Weekly team was there to bring you the highlights.
On Friday, October 31st, the Newberry College women's volleyball team turned in a strong all-around performance, earning a 3-1 victory over Lincoln Memorial University in South Atlantic Conference play. The Wolves dropped the opening set, but quickly regrouped, taking the next 3 to complete the comeback. Set scores were ended at 11-25, 25-22, 27-25, and 25-23. On the offensive side of the ball, Newberry recorded 52 total kills on 149 attempts, resulting in a hitting average of .255. Their assist total was 50, which shows that their attack was being set efficiently. Some standout players throughout these matches include Carol Ann Hussey, who added 11 kills, and Jana Price that logged 10 kills, plus a block assist. After a slow start in the first set, where Lincoln Memorial found success behind efficient attacking and strong service pressure, Newberry settled in. The Wolves adjusted their passing, tightened their defense, and began finding rhythm through their front row attackers. Newberry's offense flowed through its setting tandem of Annie Dill and Merrick Brackett, who worked together to control the tempo. Dill tallied 21 assists, 8 digs, and 2 service aces, helping the Wolves regain momentum in the second set. Her ability to distribute the ball evenly allowed hitters to attack from multiple angles and find open space in the defense. From the service line, Allison Garcia made a significant impact. She delivered 3 service aces and added 13 digs, providing both defensive stability and momentum shifting services at key moments. Her presence in the back row helped the Wolves maintain composure during long rallies. In the second set, Newberry's energy shifted. A quicker tempo and more disciplined ball control gave the Wolves the edge in close rallies. The Wolves pulled ahead late to even the match at 1 set apiece with a 25-22 win. The third set proved to be the turning point. Both teams traded points in a back-and-forth battle that showcased strong defensive coverage and extended rallies. Newberry's composure in tight moments, highlighted by key plays from Hussey and Price, made the difference. The fourth set stayed close from the opening serve, with both teams trading points and momentum throughout. Newberry's offense found its rhythm behind strong swings from Evie Powman and Carol Ann Hussey, while setter Annie Dill distributed the ball effectively to keep Lincoln Memorial's defense off balance. Later in the set, a key service run from Allison Garcia and a crucial block at the net gave the Wolves a slight edge. Lincoln Memorial fought to extend the match, but Newberry held steady, closing out the set 25-23 to secure the 3-1 victory. Overall, the Wolves showed composure and a balance, overcoming a slow start to take control later in the sets. Their offensive depth and defensive adjustments proved the difference, stealing a hard-fought 3-1 victory over Lincoln Memorial on the home court. Courtney Belton, NCTV.
And Philip, looking at this women's volleyball team, what a great win for them to go out and get a big win over Lincoln Memorial University. It's getting to that kind of crunch time of the year where, you're looking at postseason implications. While, they've fallen short a little this year, they're still, I think their main goal at this point is to get above 500. In the standings, which that's a great accomplishment for any team, whether you make the playoffs or not. So what a big win that was for the ladies out there. They won 3-1, so, kind of decisively they won that one. But kind of fast forwarding Saturday, their game against Wingate, the number 19 ranked Wingate Bulldogs. They actually lost that one, kept it close for the first couple of sets, but ultimately fell to them. What do you look for these ladies to do to, as they sit at 10 and 11 in these standings, what do you look for them to do to go out and get above 500 and finish out this year strong?
I just hope the women's team, they stay strong and resilient. I mean, like you just said, they just played against a hard number 19 ranked Wingate team, and that's tough for any team in the country to play against. So, I just hope the women's team, they look at this, be like, hey, we gave our all, we played good against them, we showed our effort, to keep that same energy and go on to the next games, and, so they can get above 500, finish the season out strong. That's right.
And speaking of that, they have about 5 games left in the regular season, and like I said before, at this point, they're just hunting to get above 500. But Wolves Weekly will continue in a moment.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to Wolves Weekly. I'm Courtney Belton. Joining me today in the studio is wrestling coach Deral Brown. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me, Courtney. I appreciate it.
Of course. So I just want to start off by saying congratulations into the induction of Hall of Fame class of 2023, correct?
Yep, thank you.
Wonderful. So what kind of emotions did you go through receiving that award?
A lot, actually. It's a pretty humbling experience to go in and be named alongside some really phenomenal athletes. And, the wrestling program in general, we have a couple guys that are in as well. And so, like I said, just to be named alongside of the guys from our wrestling program and all the other really amazing athletes that have come through Newberry College is pretty special. And nostalgic, too, because there were a couple people in the class of 2013 that went in alongside me, who I remember seeing them compete, just way back in the day whenever I was here. So it was awesome.
That's wonderful. And has your perspective changed before you've been inducted as a coach into now?
I would say, yeah. I mean, as you grow and you get older, perspective changes a little bit more as you mature and you learn. And certainly mine has since I was an athlete in 2013. And I've learned just to be, grateful for the people that God's put in my life. That's really kind of the mindset that getting inducted put me in general. I was only able to accomplish those things as an athlete and as a person because of the support system I had. I have awesome parents, I had awesome coaches, awesome mentors who really poured a lot into me. And so to get to your question, as far as perspective, it's just really taught me how important and critical it is that I am doing the same for my athletes.
That's wonderful. So speaking of your athletes, how do you feel that you can support them being that you went to Newberry College?
Just, I'd say a lot of the same things. The way my coaches supported me, I think it's important to be there for them on and off the mat, to hold them accountable in a way that stretches them and pushes them, but also to remember that at the end of the day, they're a person just like I am, And so just fundamentally speaking, that's the way I approach coaching in general. Before you're a wrestler, you're somebody's son and you're a child of God, you're a student before you're the athlete. And I feel like it's hard to address the athlete if you don't address the actual person on the front end.
And I understand that a lot, being as a student athlete as well. So I appreciate coaches that take part in that as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So another question I have for you is, what kind of mental preparation do you take before matches?
A little bit different as a coach, you know what I mean? I don't have the nerves of actually wrestling, although I did step back on the mat a couple years ago and had to, remember how to kind of approach all that. But on the coaching side of things now, it's really all about the guys. I don't have to be in a special place mentally per se. Corner coaching is a lot different than if you're actually wrestling. So my focus is more along the lines of, are logistics in place? Do the guys have what they need? Are we on time to where we need to be? More administrative type things.
So what do you say the team culture looks like this season?
Oh, we're family. We're a close-knit group. I think any team within the group, you got little subgroups, right, and cliques, and that's certainly the case for us. But overall, you walk into our wrestling room and you notice pretty quickly that the guys have a really special bond. I'll use yesterday as an example. We had a field day, and 5 minutes into being out there while we were waiting on kids to show up, there's impromptu game of football going on. So we go camping. We try to do as much off the mat as we do on the mat, and I think that speaks to our culture.
Awesome. So what would you say has been the biggest thing that you've grown in transitioning from a student athlete to now being a coach?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'd just say, it sounds tough because it sounds weird because wrestling is a very serious sport. College athletics is very serious, but I think I've grown to understand, actually, the more serious you take it, it can be counterproductive. Just remember to have fun as you're going through it, and then it helps me reset and remember my why when I try not to take things too seriously. It's important. It's a career, right? It's what I do for my living. For these guys, they're here. A lot of them on scholarship. A lot of them are competing for national championships, and so it is serious. But I've learned that by not taking it so serious, it helps to alleviate that pressure, and helps them to go compete more freely.
Wonderful. And what would you say is some qualities that you look for when you are doing recruiting?
Oh, that's a good one. I'd say ownership. I really appreciate athletes who they take ownership in their success. So in conversations, when I pick up that a student athlete is really intentional about getting extra work in outside of that practice that's at 3:30 p.m. That's something that I instantly know I want this guy. And they take initiative in being successful. They don't just wrestle during the season, but they're getting the off-season training and wrestling in as well. And then grades too, right? When you come to Newberry, I want to know that you're not going to be a problem in the classroom, and that you're just as focused academically as you are athletically.
Yes, that's definitely important for student athletes. And so to kind of conclude things with you, what would you say, or what advice would you give to your younger self?
Oh, that's a tough one. You should have asked me that one before. Younger self, I would probably tell my younger self to, are we talking about just wrestling specifically or in general?
I say you can do it in general, but wrestling pertain as well, developing as a coach.
Yeah, developing as a coach. I would just tell my younger self to kind of the same thing I say I want to see in my athletes, to stretch myself more, take more ownership in my success. I felt like I did that as an athlete, but hindsight's always 20/20, and I always look back and I'm like, I could have done more. Maybe I should have done more. So I would tell my younger self, just don't be comfortable. Don't be complacent. There's always more you can do. Yeah.
Definitely. That's always how athletes grow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Wolves Weekly will be right back after the break.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut, the one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink, or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking, now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed, better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead, catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to Wolves Weekly. I'm Tucker Moore. With all the fun of Halloween last week, some Newberry Wolves got into some frightful action. Here's the story.
Newberry College student athletes spent their Halloween giving back to the community. On October 30th, several members of the Wolves athletic teams took part in the annual Trunk or Treat event at Newberry County Memorial Hospital. The event brought together families from across Newberry for a safe and fun night of trick-or-treating. Student athletes decorated their vehicles, passed out candy, and connected with local children during this event. During this event, we had the honor and privilege of interviewing a couple of Newberry College student athletes that were in attendance. Some questions that we brought forth to them were, how do you think events like this will help connect athletes with fans and family from Newberry? What message do you hope kids will take away after meeting student athletes here? And how do events like this help your team bond outside of competition?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I said before, with us being a college, a lot of people that are here, especially from the lacrosse team, they're some of them are from a different country. So it's big for us to be out here and to show that we come here for a reason. We come here to play sports and most importantly get an education. And so for us to be able to take a step outside of that and, put all that beside us and, just give back to people that are around here that make this community what it is always important. So
it's a good way for the community to see us out. It's a good way for us to market the school because the more they see us, they see our logos, that means they will want to come and support us and they will be more drawn to come into our games.
It's great. Like, we get out here, we got a ton of guys out here. We're putting a good name out for our team, for our school, and I think we make good connections. Hopefully it can bring some people out to the stands and make some new Newberry supporters.
I feel like it gives them a chance to kind of see us outside of our sport, and you'll see us on the sidelines, but you don't really get a chance to see us outside of it.
I feel like Newberry is a small town, so how it connects it shows the environment, how we role model as athletes and students and what we bring from our school, because even outside of school we manage to come and support Halloween, and yeah.
I hope they see that, you can go and be a great athlete and a great, student, but at the same time you can be a good person. Because a lot of us, we're taking time away. We're not forced to do this. We want to do it just to give back. And so they see that we're not only are we trying to be a decent human being, but we're doing it for them, so that that way that they see that if you are able and are good enough at what you do to take that next level, you're able to go out there and still give back to the people around you in the community and make it what it is.
That the hard work is worth it, that you learn a lot more out of it. You learn more about how to be professional. You learn about keeping your time management. You learn about good teamwork, and that's all things and skills that you'll have to continue to go when you go into the professional world.
I mean, I think every guy out here, we just want to make sure that kids learn that it's good to kind of just be a good person in general. If you want to get back, once they're an older kid like us or someone in our shoes, that they think about trying to help out the little kid next to you or trying to be a nice guy. That's just kind of it.
Honestly, I hope it gives them an opportunity to think about, if they're not already in a sport now, maybe they're thinking about it, and that kind of pushes them into, I want to join a different kind of sport. I hope that they take away that if they work hard, as a young kid to growing up and still, keep working hard, that they can be where we are one day.
I mean, I would say the football team's pretty close-knit, but, getting the group of guys to come out here and do it and be together, it's not hot, it's cold, and it's about giving back, right? So, we all try to live through Christ and do things like that. And so when we have the ability to do that and show that we're willing to give back and, take those steps or take the actions to be successful in our Christ walk and do it as a team, it's also important, and we also bond like that.
Throwing each other up, it gives us a time to cut loose, have fun, and be serious.
I think it kind of adds a different atmosphere than what we already have as a team. And so instead of just oh yeah, we go to practice, we see each other every day when we go there, kind of gives us a chance to kind of connect outside of that atmosphere.
I think it's great. Any opportunity we have to get together as a group, I think it's just perfect. We learn more about each other every day. It helps us flow on the field, mesh as a team. It's just, it's just great. The more we get to know about each other.
Well, it's kind of funny because some of my teammates dressed up. One of my teammates, her name's Lanisha, she's dressed up as Glinda from Wicked, and I think that's funny because, you know, we're all getting to know each other and it shows more of our personalities.
This is just one of many ways that Newberry College student-athletes continue to remain involved within the community. Philip Wade, NCTV.
There is a road laid out for me.
Boxes everywhere. And this is gonna be Addie's room.
I am blind,
Think you really like it?
I hope so. Yeah.
I know this road is there for me. There is a long way.
First night here, but Amy seems cool.
Waist down by the river. I am blind, but I need not see.
I got this.
I know this road is there for me.
Okay.
If I'm really free, take me down to the river and wash me.
Welcome back to Wolves Weekly. Now let's get to the scoreboard and get you caught up with all the action that took place over the past week. Continuing their winning streak, the Newberry football team had a thrilling victory against Anderson 24-21 in their first ever meeting between the two teams. Newberry struggled early, managing only 27 yards in their first 4 possessions. Despite the offensive woes, the defense struck first when Jamar Blandon and Mason Greer hit Anderson's quarterback, forcing a pass that popped into the air and was intercepted by Charles Smith, who returned it 72 yards for a touchdown and a 7-0 lead in the first quarter. Anderson answered quickly, scoring twice in just over 3 minutes to go up 14-7. The Wolves' offense came alive late in the second quarter as quarterback Reed Sharpia found DeAndre Coleman for an 8-yard touchdown to tie the game 14-14 heading into the half. Neither team scored in the third quarter. However, in the fourth quarter, Newberry took the lead as Sharpia hit Rico Dorsey Jr. for a 17-yard touchdown, but Anderson quickly tied it up once again. The Wolves drove 75 yards in the final minutes, highlighted by a 36-yard pass to Keith Desashore, setting up Burke Nettles with a 22-yard field goal with 23 seconds remaining on the clock. Blandon punctuated the victory with a game-ending sack. The Wolves host Carson Newman Saturday at 1 p.m. at Setzler Field, with the winner taking home an automatic bid to the NCAA playoffs and the South Atlantic Conference Championship.
The Newberry women's soccer team delivered one of its best defensive performances of the season, battling to a 0-0 draw on the road against number 3 Catawba. Goalkeeper Madison Gutierrez was outstanding, recording a season-high 11 saves for her 6th shutout of the year, facing 33 shots, 14 on goal. Gutierrez anchored a resilient backline that held one of the nation's top offenses scoreless. Defenders Emily Castaneda, Evelina Espinoza, and Sydney Guswell each played all 90 minutes, keeping Catawba from finding second-chance opportunities offensively. Molly Courtley and Haley Patino led the Wolves' attack, both registering shots on goal. The Wolves return home this week for the final regular season match against Anderson.
The women's field hockey team had a dominant 4-0 shutout over Belmont Abbey on senior night, improving to a perfect 16-0 and 10-0 in conference play. The Wolves struck early in the first quarter with Parker Keeler scoring in the 7th minute. Just a minute later, Vivian Damin added another goal, assisted by Lieke Varenkamp. In the third quarter, the Wolves continued their offensive momentum with 2 more goals. Emma Westbrook scored with an assist from Amber Tozana, and Damin tallied her second goal of the night, assisted by Augustina Montserrat. It wasn't just the offense that shined. Newberry's defense was outstanding, allowing only 3 shots the entire game. The Wolves now head into South Atlantic Conference semifinals on November 7th at 2 p.m.
The men's soccer team earned a strong 2-0 road victory over Catawba in the all-around team performance. With the win, the Wolves secured their first winning season since 2019 and improved to 6-3-4 overall and 2-3-4 in conference play. In the 18th minute, Philip Tamusic opened the scoring to give the Wolves a 1-0 lead. The defense held firm throughout the match, limiting Catawba to just 2 shots on goal, while goalkeeper Charlie Clark recorded 2 saves. Late in the second half, Ben Curtis sealed the win with a goal to make it 2-0. The Wolves will finish the regular season at home this week.
The South Carolina Army National Guard Newberry College Players of the Week for the end of October are junior forward Molly Courtley and senior quarterback Reed Sharpia. Courtley scored the game-tying goal with under 20 minutes left to give the Wolves a crucial point in a 1-1 tie with Lincoln Memorial. It was Courtley's team-leading 3rd goal of the year and her 5th career goal with the Wolves. Courtley started both games last week and played a total of 163 minutes as the Wolves earned 2 points with a pair of ties in league play. Sharpia completed 26 of 33 passes for 2 touchdowns and 253 yards in the Wolves' 36-34 win over Emory and Henry. Sharpia has now thrown for 2,105 yards, 18 touchdowns, and just 1 interception, and has completed 71% of his passes. He is just the 7th quarterback in Newberry College football history to throw for at least 2,000 yards in a season and the first since Dre Harris in 2021. And now let's take a look at the upcoming games for this weekend for your Newberry Wolves. And that's all for this edition of Wolves Weekly. I'm Tucker Moore.
And I'm Phillip Wade. Join us next time for more Wolves Weekly.